Winning a Grand Slam is hard enough, but sometimes the universe makes you earn it. The draws get brutal, the matches stretch past midnight. Your legs stop listening, but you still have to find a way. These were the tournaments that pushed the body past breaking point, where champions bled time, sweat, and sanity, and somehow kept going. This isn't a highlight reel. It's a list of moments when tennis stopped being a sport and became war. This is the hardest Grand Slam runs in tennis history. The ultimate showdown. Novak Djokovic came into Melbourne at the peak of his powers. The year before, he'd owned tennis. 3 slams, 10 titles, 41 straight wins. Week 1 was a breeze, barely 10 games lost across the 3 rounds. He cruised past Leighton Hewitt in 4 and crushed David Ferrer, the tireless number 5 seed. Then came the real test. Andy Murray in the semi-final. 4 hours and 50 minutes of pure attrition, a match that felt like 2 finals in 1. 2 nights later, he met Rafael Nadal. 5 hours and 53 minutes, the longest Grand Slam final ever played. By the end, both men could barely stand. Djokovic fell to the court, arms out, body trembling. 14 hours on court, with a difficulty rating of 94 out of 100. It wasn't just victory, it was domination turned into endurance. The shoe on the other foot. 10 years later, same stage, different story. Rafael Nadal came in broken, 6 months out with a chronic foot injury. Most didn't think he'd finish the tournament, but week 1 looked like vintage Nadal. Goran, Hunfman, and Khachanov. Then things got rough. A half-hour tiebreak against Adrian Mannarino, a 5-set grinder against Denis Shapovalov, and a heavy-hitting semi with Matteo Berrettini. The final was against Daniil Medvedev, who was 10 years younger, faster, and sharper. Nadal went down 2 sets to love, and love 40 in the third. Then he started turning back time. 5 hours and 24 minutes later, he completed one of the greatest comebacks ever. 15 hours on court with a difficulty rating of a 92. A win built on faith, fatigue, and fire. The draw from hell. Paris 2021, with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic all in the same bracket. Novak handled the first week easily. Then came Lorenzo Musetti, who stole the first 2 sets before Djokovic flipped the script, winning 12 of the next 13 games. Quarterfinal against Matteo Berrettini. Long rallies, tight tension, another 4-setter. In the semi-final, he came across his long-term rival Rafael Nadal. 4 hours and 10 minutes of clay court perfection. Djokovic did what almost no man had ever done before. He beat Nadal in his own home. 2 days later, down 2 sets to Stefanos Tsitsipas in the final, he came back again. 13 hours of tennis that week, with a difficulty rating of 90 out of 100. That wasn't just a title, it was a masterclass in mental stamina. The underdog. Wimbledon 2001. Goran Ivanišević, ranked 125, walked in as a wildcard. No one ever expected a thing. He breezed past Frederick Johnson and Carlos Moya, then took down Andy Roddick and Greg Rusedski, outserving 2 of the tour's biggest hitters. Quarterfinal, Marat Safin, the number 4 seed, then in the semi ran across Tim Hemren, who was Britain's last hope. Rain delays, 3 days, and a 5-set thriller. The final against Paddy Rafter, who was the number 3 seed at the time, which he took in 5 sets. About 10 hours across those last 2 rounds, with a difficulty rating of 83, but 99 for heart. When the last ace landed, Goran dropped to his knees and Wimbledon erupted. The only wild card ever to win a slam. The new kids on the block. 22 years old, Carlos Alcaraz stormed through the early rounds with barely a scratch. Then things heated up when he ran into Ben Shelton, number 13 seed at the time, in round 4. 4 tight sets of shot-making fireworks. He faced Tommy Paul, the number 12 seed in the quarters, with relentless pace and no panic. Lorenzo Musetti was up next, who was number 8 seed at the time, in the semis. He dropped the first set, fought back, Musetti retired. Waiting for him at the final was Jannik Sinner, the world number 1. Down 2 sets, Alcaraz fought back, saved match points, and after 5 hours and 29 minutes, the longest French Open final ever, he triumphed. 13 hours on court across the final 3 rounds with a difficulty rating of 85. The future arrived, and it arrived swinging. Different eras, different champions, but every one of them walked the same battlefield. They fought fatigue, fear, and time itself, and somehow they kept standing. Because in these moments, tennis wasn't just a sport, it was war, and only the strongest survived. Which run do you think was the hardest in tennis history? Let me know in the comments below.